because this is not a surge. These are children, and they are not insurgents, and we are not being invaded.
I gotta be clear. The difference is just because you don't call it a surge doesn't mean it's not insurgents. And I don't know how that. Maybe she's trying to make those words relate. Oh, she might be lovely in real life, but everything she discusses is just from this childlike point of view.
The way is a white supremacist idea, philosophy, the idea that if an other is coming in the population, that this is like an invasion of who we are.
She knows nothing. She has no idea what she's talking about right there. You understand that, right? She made that all up. Now, I could be quoted. You made it up. Like a child explaining how the cookie jar broke. You just made it up. It's just word salad babble. That's it. Again, you might be a great friend to people and you know, and good to your neighbors. But when it comes to policy, you're a child. All your policies are childlike. And on this, you just made it up. You actually don't know what you're referring to. You made it up. Of course there's a problem at the border. This whole surge, not surge conversation doesn't change the fact that children are being dropped from a 14-foot fence. Now, what do you want to do? If you listen to the political left, they'll all tell you that we have a moral responsibility, says Representative Ilhan Omar, to care for these children.
They're here because they are seeking asylum and looking for a shot at the American dream. A lot of them have family members here already that they're looking to reconnect, that they haven't seen and have been separated from for a really long time. And so to me, this really is a reminder that we have a moral and legal responsibility to provide that opportunity for these kids.
Let's take a step back. It is not incumbent upon the United States to grant everyone who enters or tries to enter asylum. Never mind that a tremendous amount of people are taught to lie at the border by legal groups. Hey, here's how you claim asylum. Jamming up the system for people who actually need it. Talk about inhumane. These kids were dropped from a fence. And we don't know how they got there. Were they stolen? Were they given, please drop our child off over a fence? Get them into America? This bigoted and hateful place, America. That's always the one to get, right? Remember, we're all bigots, right? Black or white, we're all hateful. Doesn't matter, we're all going to be victims of the woke. And people are literally thrown over fences to come here. The story sells itself in that way. The lie that is told about that, the problems with America, or the evil of America. None of that is true. And you know it. Now you know it. You can share it with your kids. America's evil. Stop it. These kids, if you tell me that you want to grant them asylum, are we giving them back to their parents? Because isn't that what we should be doing? We should be getting them back to their parents. Now, what happens when we can't find their parents? Oh, that's a whole other subject. And I don't say that this isn't dirty. It is a bad, bad situation. If you said to me, we do everything we can to reunite kids with their parents who've been stolen from their parents. But if we can't do it, because it's possible we can't do it, we let these kids into the U.S., we put them into homes that want to adopt them. By the way, I would. I'm saying I would. Not debating, I'm saying I would. And then therefore they can become citizens? Okay. But they can't find their parents later and the parents then come in 5 years later. No. Even if the kid was kidnapped. Follow my logic, producer Ari. That's hardcore. But why? And the answer is because you cannot reward what is happening. I cannot bring myself to understand at this moment how I could then say, well, I guess you can come in too. No, that's not how it works. If we are making the real, full attempt to reunite a child with their parents, and we're unsuccessful. That kid needs to be fed, that kid needs to be housed, the kid deserves to be loved. And I want to do that. And there are millions of Americans who want to do that. But what we're saying is that the efforts of, our efforts, whether it's via the government or via an NGO or what have you, we're unsuccessful. If they're successful 5 years later, we're going to bring a family in and say, okay, here you go. I don't know how that's supposed to work. Because I live now in a society that games the system. They game the system. People use children as a way of gaining entry. People have children in the United States as a way of trying to stay. And I cannot guarantee that this isn't the gaming of the system. This is the horror of what we're dealing with. Please do not let it be lost on you that I don't understand this. I do. This is horror. And people like Ilhan Omar, Representative Omar, they think this is just the way it should be. They think it would be better if we just open the border. She's going to push the Biden administration to treat these children humanely. Well, you're doing a terrible job of it. She's already stated that her answer is to open the border. Representative Ocasio-Cortez wants to lie about something called, well, what is a surge or isn't a surge, and what's an insurgent, instead of dealing with children being dropped over a fence. I want to deal with the children being dropped over the fence. Because even if I were to shut down the border completely, I don't know if I could stop children being dropped over a fence. What kind of diseased mind does such a thing? And how are we, as rational people, supposed to deal with it? I refuse to allow the despicable people, the violent people, to destroy a society that works. So hard decisions have to be made. I believe in caring for children, and I'm prepared to do it. But I want to know what the policy and the procedure is for finding these parents and then reuniting them with their children because they deserve their children. But if we have a policy and that policy is not capable of making that reunification, well, then let us care for those children, and that's that. If we find the parent, we find the parent. They don't get to become citizens. I'm drawing a line in the sand, which is hard to do. I'm setting down some rules, which are hard to do. But it sure as the hell of a lot...
The wind has died down here at Kauffman Stadium on a chilly afternoon at Kauffman. Now they're ready. The 3-2 pitch swung on and belted high in the air, and Gallo lost the baseball for a moment, then regathered himself right at the warning track to make the catch. So the Royals do score 3 runs in the inning and take a 10-8 lead over the Texas Rangers going to the 5th.
Stay connected. KFOR. 3 different vaccines.
Johnson & Johnson's newly approved coronavirus vaccine.
We now have 3 safe and highly effective vaccines that prevent serious illness, hospitalization, and death from COVID-19.
Life-saving medicine.
The current 7-day average is 1.7 million shots per day.
Public health officials say the safest thing to do is take the first vaccine that becomes available to you rather than holding out for a specific brand.
And if I could leave people with one message, get vaccinated. It's the first vaccine available to you.
How and when to get yours. Stay connected, KFOR.
No matter the weather, there's always something to do or plans to be made in the lawn or garden. Hi, this is Dale Johnson. Learn what to do and when every Saturday morning at 8:30. Join us in the garden on KFOR.
Your tax return plus a low-interest energy loan adds up to new vinyl replacement windows. This is Kathy with Heartland of Nebraska Windows, here to let you know that now through April 15th we're taking 20% off new vinyl replacement windows and doors. I can help walk you through the paperwork for an energy loan. Put your tax return into your home. You'll reap the savings for years to come. Make an appointment today at heartlandofnebraskawindows.com.
Panera's new flatbread pizzas are here, but to our new chef, Klaus, they're not just pizzas.
They're masterpieces. Because it's not just cheese. It's hot and melty mozzarella and fontina cheese. It's not just sauce. It's market tomato red bell pepper sauce. And it's not just toppings. It's fresh mozzarella, basil, and grape tomatoes. Taste our delicious new flatbread pizzas today. Order online for pickup or delivery. Panera. Restrictions apply.
Hi, Rick Edelman here. Join me to find out what you need to do with your investments, savings, and all your personal finances in these volatile times. So tune in to The Rick Edelman Show every Saturday morning from 11 a.m. to noon right here on KFOR.
KFOR, Royals Baseball, a bullpen game. And Trevino, by the way, hitting out of the number 9 spot is 2 for 2, and he pops one out on the first base side, foul and out of play, just barely out of play. And 0-1 on Jose Trevino. Trevino, and then Kiner Falefa and David Dahl due up here in the inning. Well, there's some really great traditions on opening days throughout the history of the big leagues, and certainly one of them is the United States President throwing out the first baseball. Strike well thrown on the outside corner to make the count 0-2. Kurt Smith, a well-known author, baseball historian, wrote a terrific book called The President and the Pastime, the history of baseball and the White House. There's a swing and a miss, so nice pitches to retire Trevino for the first time today, and that's now 4 strikeouts for Hernandez, and now Kiner Falefa. Kansas City in Independence, Harry Truman threw out the first pitch in 1946. And he was still president at the time. He was the first president to throw left-handed. That was at Old Griffith Stadium. There's a pitch inside to the Rangers shortstop. But on April the 12th, 1955, baseball in Kansas City on the big league level for the first time. A's moved from Philadelphia to Kansas City. Check swing, foul ball. And the count 1-1. So Harry Truman threw out the first pitch before a standing room only crowd at the old ballpark near downtown. Over 32,000 were there to see the Royals, or rather the A's, beat the Detroit Tigers that afternoon. And Harry Truman at that time was 70 years old. 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 away. Isaiah Kiner Falefa, the batter. Hernandez gets the sign, goes to work. A high, towering fly ball to right. Tough sun out there. Isbell making the play, shading his eyes with his throwing hand, and now they're 2 men out.
I love that old ballpark, Kenny. I know you spent a lot of time broadcasting at old Municipal Stadium, and I watched a lot of Chiefs and Royals games there.
You know which president threw out the first pitch in history? I remember reading the story. 1910, it was William Howard Taft, all 325 pounds of him. Strike on the outside corner to David Dahl, who is 3 for 3, 2 singles and a double, 2 runs scored. They had a special chair for William Howard Taft to get all of his girth in a couch. Well, probably
He was outside.
Oh my. 0-2 now on David Dahl. Royals in front, 10-8. Swing there, fouled straight back. Still no balls, 2 strikes. John F. Kennedy threw out first pitch in 1961. That was the last year at Old Griffith Stadium in Washington, D.C. And they say that Kennedy practiced for 30 minutes a day for a week just to make sure he was pretty athletic, Kennedy. There's a swing and a miss, so a good outing for Hernandez. He has restored some order, back-to-back 1-2-3 innings. Bottom of the 5th we go, 10-8. Royals.
Truck drivers, your time is now. Find out why other drivers are making
making the move to Schneider. Schneider doesn't stop at rewarding drivers with fixed full-time options, respect for your hard work, and ongoing pay increases. Schneider goes the extra mile by investing in top-of-the-line equipment, benefits, and other upgrades like weekly guaranteed pay for new drivers. Isn't it time you join a company that values drivers and rewards the work you do every day? If you're ready to make the switch to a more rewarding career, apply at SchneiderJobs.com.
Spectrum Paint is Kansas City's paint source and your Benjamin Moore paint source. The Kansas City Royals trust Spectrum Paint and Benjamin Moore to keep Kauffman Stadium looking beautiful, and there's still time to get your house looking beautiful too. Spectrum Paint has Benjamin Moore's Regal Select exterior paint to protect your home for years to come. Only the best quality paint for your home. Stop by any of Spectrum's 12 area locations to check out all the quality Benjamin Moore paints. Go to SpectrumPaint.com for a location near you.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision that shouldn't be based solely on advertisements. I'm James Thompson, and at Edelman & Thompson, we let the facts do the talking. The fact is, over the last decade, we've won more car accident cases in Kansas City courts than any other firm. Here's another fact. We're number one in work injury cases, too. If you've been injured and want a lawyer with a proven record of success, call Edelman & Thompson.
The injury lawyers of Edelman & Thompson are proud to partner with the Royals in supporting Harvesters, the community food network with a Home Runs for Harvesters program. For every home run the Royals hit this season, Edelman & Thompson will donate $250 to Harvesters to help address food insecurity in our community. In these challenging times, Edelman & Thompson is proud to join the Royals in supporting this essential cause. And Denny, we have Sal Perez to lead off this fifth inning. The Royals up by 2.
All right, Steve, and Salvador Perez has walked his bases loaded to drive in a run. And he fouls it off, strike one. Perez, Soler, and Dozier coming up here, and
Borders, all from KFOR. On our first date, we had masks on and kept 6 feet apart. Now, we're a lot closer.
Just like Cliff and Deb, thousands of singles over 50 found their perfect match on Silver Singles last year.
I feel like I'm 20 years old again, and I'm pretty sure she feels the same way.
Rediscover the magic of dating with Silver Singles, the exclusive community for singles over 50. Sign up today and receive daily matches you won't want to miss at silversingles.com/radio. silversingles.com/radio.
Hi, break time? I know you. I'm Cologuard, a prescription colon cancer screening option for people 45 plus at average risk. It seems like you take care of yourself.
I do. I play tennis. Try to eat well.
What about screening for colon cancer?
Not yet.
Don't wait. Colon cancer is more treatable when it's caught in early stages.
Tell me more.
Cologuard is non-invasive and is used at home. It detects altered DNA in your stool to find 92% of colon cancers.
92%?
Yep, even those in early stages.
This was seen in a clinical study with patients 50 and older. Any positive result should be followed by a diagnostic colonoscopy. False positive and negative results may occur. Cologuard is not a replacement for colonoscopy in high-risk patients. Do not use if you have had adenomas, have inflammatory bowel disease and certain hereditary syndromes, or personal or family history of colon cancer.
Most insured patients pay $0. Ask your provider or an online prescriber if Cologuard is right for you, or visit requestcologuard.com.
I'm on.
Excellent.
Royals baseball on KFOR. Jesse Hahn will come out of the bullpen to throw for the Royals, a 31-year-old right-hander. Had a good spring, and he had a fantastic last year. His first year with the Royals, he had been injured in 2019. But he posted a 2.57 ERA and really terrific in the second half of 2020. He will face Joey Gallo to lead things off. Royals lead it 2-8. They have 10 runs on 12 hits. Rangers have 8 runs on 12 hits. Gallo has walked twice, singled in 2 runs. Hahn's 1-0 pitch is swung on, up high in the air, left side, playable for Dozier. He's now in foul territory and makes the catch. Jesse Hahn has sprinted over that area, but the pet peeve of Ryan Lefebvre is, what is it about pitchers not being allowed to the yards, but the effort was good.
Yes, it was. The hustle was tremendous.
So now Jesse to face Nick Solak. Solak today reached center an infield hit in the first inning, drove in a run in the process, since then has struck out and grounded out, and the 1-0 pitch, hit him in the back. So Solak is on for the second time, and Jesse came up and in and clipped him on that left shoulder. While we have a moment, let's pause for station identification on the Royals Radio Network.
This is Lincoln Station for Kansas City Royals baseball. KFOR AM and FM 103.3, 770 Lincoln.
That fastball at 94 miles an hour with some arm side run just kept on running right into the back of Nick Solak. So he is on now. The tying run comes to plate in Nate Lowe. Lowe is a good power hitter. First pitch to him in there. Curveball, strike one. Lowe has doubled in 3 runs his first time up, singled in another, and then flied out to center field. And Michael Taylor made a terrific throw to home plate to catch the advancing runner. He had 2 assists in the first 3 innings of this game. Here's the 0-1 pitch. In there, another curveball for a strike. Nate Lowe played his college baseball at Mississippi State. He and his brother were drafted the same year. One out of high school and Nate out of college. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. He struck him out. So 2 outs in the 6th inning. His younger brother Josh was the first-round pick by the Rays in 2016 out of high school, and Nate was taken by the Rays later in that draft, 13th round. Josh still in the Rays system, and of course, Nate was traded to Texas this past offseason. Here is Brock Holt. He's been on twice with an infield hit and a walk. On throws over, and diving back safely is Solak. Solak, good speed. He was 7 for 8 last year in steals. Edges away from the bag. On brings the pitch home, high and outside. A ball to strike. Brock split last year with the Washington Nationals and also the Milwaukee Brewers. Hit just .211 in 37 games. Runner does not go. The pitch gets away from Salvador Perez, goes all the way back to the screen, and that likely will be a wild pitch charged to Jesse Hahn. That is indeed the story. Moving into scoring position is Nick Solak. So he's at second base with 2 out.
Think about your offense, the way you guys to come back after going down 5. I think you guys ended up with the franchise record for runs on opening day.
Just those grinding at-bats again. I mean, we saw it right from the top, guys. Taking walks, working deep counts, not trying to do too much, taking good 2-strike approach. Just what we were hoping for. I mean, you talk about Santana that was on base 5 times today. That's incredible, and just some real good jobs of situational hitting, let alone with causing damage. It was that mix we were hoping for, right? Those tough at bats, put the pitchers on their heels a little bit, work the walks when they'll give them to you, and then hand it over to guys to do some damage. And we had guys do damage today. It was it seems like we played 2 games today. I got to go through a lot of it again. I need to watch that when I've got a lot of time. But man, was that was special. It really was special.
Sorry, Annie.
Well, it was the longest night in the game, so you probably felt that one too.
I was curious to get your thoughts on Brad and what you thought he struggled with in the first.
I gotta tell you, it looked like the ball was coming out of his hand, bro. I mean, the stuff looked right. It was just, whether it was hitting the right spot, it happened a couple times, but they squared up plenty too. You just don't see that. And, I think he was one batter away from coming out of the game and gets through it. And he's the kind of guy that can start running some ground balls and then efficiently figure out a way to keep us in the game. But just never found that momentum. But excited to get him back out there. I know he can't wait after a day like that. But look at how the rest of that went. Zimmer teammate did an unbelievable job. For him to get down the count and come back into and get the out for us. Can't say enough about Carlos Hernandez on the backside. I mean, that was just delightful from the top. They'll make some adjustments and being just real honest and raw about some of the things that need to be worked on. And those at bats right from the first one, just do the things you can to help us. And he takes a sacrifice fly, and then the next couple times up he's using the field. It was exactly, he lays down a bunt and just trying to get guys over and puts enough pressure on that he actually ends up getting a base hit out of it. I mean, it was a really good display of a guy that really could have been pouting. And all he did was he went to work and he got ready, knowing that there was an opportunity that was coming. But I don't think any of us realized it was going to come this soon. But I also just want to tip my hat to our development guys. I know Alex and Mark spent a lot of time. Just kind of, let's go back to the beginning. Let's talk about what has made you successful in the past. Let's talk about some of the things. Because you can do that if you're not competing for a major league spot. You can go back and just, let's start over. And that's exactly what they did. And man, it was really fun to watch.
All right, we're going to have three more, and then I've got a bunch of players I want to get in here too. Let Mike see it. So, Karen? Karen, you're muted.
There we go. Mike, would you say that the identity of this team was formed in spring training, and is it that they never give up? I mean, if I'm down 5 runs, it might take the wind out of my sails a little bit, and then you said how they kept coming back. So, this group that you put together with new players and old players, do you feel they formed that identity of never giving up, having that chip on their shoulder to fight to the end?
Yeah, I think a little bit. We haven't had that many games where we actually needed to come back. I think they just had a lot of belief in themselves leaving spring training. And just looking around, but you know what? Maybe not a lot of people are talking about it, but this is a good lineup. This is a good team. And things like today, how I was answering Sam's question, the reason those are so important is because that does begin to develop that expected resilience kind of nature and